All right, so here we are again. The second round of playoff rankings are out. You know, at a quick glance, I just want to look at these rankings and be like, what are they fucking talking about? Oklahoma State at 8, Clemson at 1, blah, blah, blah. But what's odd is ultimately these four teams will probably end up being the four teams that are left standing. Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame. You know, if I had to bet right now, I would say, yep, that'll be your Final Four in some way, shape, or form. We'll see, though. See how it all plays out. But look, if you're Baylor, Oklahoma State right now, I can understand being a little bit pissed off. Iowa even, okay, whatever. Iowa, just don't worry. You win your next 3 games, and hopefully the Buckeyes win their next 3 games, and you'll get your shot. You'll have your chance, and oh, and boy, I can't wait. I would love to see that game. I hope the whole fucking nation watches that. Undefeated Iowa complaining about their ranking, playing an undefeated Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. Oh man, it wouldn't even be fair. It would not be fair. It'd be sad for Iowa. I would feel bad for them. You know, going from undefeated, thinking like Wisconsin last year. Although Wisconsin didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. Wisconsin felt good about themselves. Well, I don't think they've ever recovered. They may not ever recover. 59-0 is what happened to Wisconsin last year. Iowa. Just remember that. When you're hooting and hollering about how you should be ranked, well, you're going to get your shot. Don't worry. You can't avoid all the good teams in the Big Ten forever. You've even got to get by Nebraska, your final regular season game. All right, but enough about Iowa. I can understand. All right, they are undefeated. Baylor just seems to beat everybody by 40 fucking points every week. Now, I get it. Their schedule's been weak. But they're still undefeated. You know, it's not like Notre Dame has played the toughest goddamn schedule in the world, and they have that one loss. Okay, they played Clemson, and they lost. You know, it's obviously a tougher schedule than Baylor. Alabama as well. I just still feel like a loss means something. You know, I know Alabama, again, in the SEC, people are going to go crazy about their schedule, but, you know, they're only 9 games into it, and they've had a couple of non-conference games in there, and they've got the one loss. So, you know, when it's all settled and there's a bunch of one-loss teams, I can understand. You want to move your SEC teams ahead. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, all these teams, you know, I don't care if you're Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Baylor, Oklahoma State, whoever it is, they basically have 4 to 5 tough games on their schedule. You look at the Ohio State or Clemson schedule, there's about 4 or 5 games that are like, those are tricky. Then maybe there's 3 where you're like, they could actually lose these. And then when you look at Alabama's schedule, there's maybe 1 more. Just add 1 more in there. Instead of 4 or 5, it's probably 5 or 6. Instead of saying there's 3 games they could potentially lose, there's maybe a 4th game they could potentially lose. So I don't go too crazy on the Alabama SEC schedule. Just like, you know, with the Baylor thing. I feel like, look, if you're playing some cupcakes and you're beating them by 40, that's probably what you should do. If you're a really good team and you're playing stinkers and you're beating them by 40, it's like, okay, all right, I get it. You know, at the same time, I guess I can make the argument that Ohio State not beating teams by 40, although they're not playing the cupcakes Baylor's playing. Oklahoma State at number 8, I think they got a legitimate beef. They'll get their shot. You know, Baylor, boy, Baylor's got Murderers Row coming up for the Big 12. Yeah, so ultimately, man, I guess if I had to give my rankings right now, it would be Ohio State, Baylor, Clemson, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, Baylor's going to work that. That's going to work itself out. But if Clemson runs the table, the Buckeyes run the table, they're definitely in, right? And whoever between Baylor and Oklahoma State, if one of them runs the table, they're in. So then you got 3. Then you're left sitting there with like a 1-loss Iowa. Get the hell out of here. That's where Alabama probably comes in, gets the nod over Notre Dame. So that's what Notre Dame better be hoping. Notre Dame better hope those Big 12 teams lose some games, not just the one to one another. Notre Dame's the one that could be hurting. But look, Iowa's going to lose. Baylor's going to lose. Baylor and Oklahoma State might very well lose. I don't know about Stanford. Stanford could be the proverbial turd in the punch bowl for all this. It's the one team I really can't comment on because I just haven't seen them play. I've seen Clemson play and was not overly impressed. I've seen Bama play. All right. They've gotten much better. Although I happened to see the fucking game, most of the game when they lost. Buckeyes, look, I don't care. I think they should still be number 1. I still think being defending national champions and preseason number 1 and having the 0 on your record still means something. But whatever, if they win out, they win the Big Ten title game, they beat the Spartans, they beat Michigan in there at 14. So anyhow, I guess I've rambled enough. What I say, my top: Ohio State, Baylor, Clemson, Oklahoma State. Yep, that's my top four. Assuming Oklahoma State, Baylor falls out, put Alabama in there. Let's say the only teams that go undefeated are Clemson and Ohio State. Then maybe Notre Dame can sneak in there. Or Stanford. LSU's got a long way to go, but LSU could make the run back up there potentially. Along with Florida, ending the year against Florida State. That's nice for them. TCU, well, how? Man, they got fucked. They fell 7 spots, all the way down to 15. No respect for the Big 12. Big 12 not having that title game will hurt again as well. So I don't know. I guess that's my 2 cents. F Zappa 20 as always. And I don't know. What do you think, man? Who's your top 4 right now? Really? Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame, huh? I'm not quite sure what the committee's doing here right now. I guess just a loss doesn't mean anything anymore. Notre Dame and Bama sitting there. Okay, Notre Dame's loss was to Clemson. I don't care. It was a fucking loss. Alabama's loss was to an unranked now team. Stanford there at 7. Who the fuck beat them? Wasn't it? Oh, it was one of them wacky. Was it USC? USC beat Stanford? Who the fuck? Nah, USC beat Utah. Let's see here. Who the hell did Stanford lose to? Damn it. Just saw it a minute ago. Oh, they lost the opener to Northwestern. Wow. I forgot all about that. Oh, dude, Iowa fan just went nuts. Oh, Iowa, dude, we beat Northwestern, we beat Wisconsin. All right, good for you, Iowa. I just fucking hoped it. I just really, come on, college football gods. 12-0 Buckeyes versus 12-0 Iowa. Please. There were people back in 2002, Hawkeye. Remember that season? They were like, oh, the Buckeyes are lucky they don't play us this year. So I guess we're ending the season with that. I bet you the video just got all fucked up, man. I don't know what happened here, man. All I did was try to click on Stanford. Shit got a little bit wild. If we're out of sync here at the end, I apologize. You probably didn't even fucking make it this far. If you made it this far, man, you're a real trooper. You're not only an F Zappa 20 fan, you're a college football freak, perhaps. Oh, one guy wanted me to talk about the Huskers. Although I don't know if he'll ever see this. Old Uncle Ebenezer. Huskers were a once proud program. They're struggling right now. I don't know why they fired their coach. I thought they were winning like 10 games a year and doing all right. You know, on the brink of getting into the Big Ten title game, winning the Big Ten championship. I guess, though, you just got used to national titles. I suppose that's the deal at Nebraska. Although, hey, nothing wrong with that. I just don't. I don't know. I don't necessarily like that about college football. At some point, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, it became like title game, national championship, or that's it. You know, beating your rivals, winning your conference. It just doesn't seem to be that big a deal anymore. I used to think that was a big deal. You know, for the Buckeyes to win their conference, go to the Rose Bowl, beat Michigan, thought that was a great year. But at some point, it became all about the national title. So that's the problem with Nebraska. If they still got that mentality, oh shit. Might be a while. Might be a while. Uncle Ebenezer, I hope you fucking made it this far.